Hello, everybody. I'm Richard Leake, along with Army Armstrong, and we are in San Jose, California at Spartan Stadium as Redman and TNT has teamed up with Z6 Motorsports to bring you not one, but two levels of competition tonight. And one of those is the modified 4x4s, the other the super modified two-wheel drive competition. And, Army, there's a big difference between the two.
The main difference is the amount of wheels they're going to be put into the ground to make the horsepower. Self-explanatory. The four-wheel drive class are limited on cubic inches, but they've got to put all their horsepower to the ground, four wheels. Two-wheel drives, they can go up on the horsepower with supercharged engines, but they can only put that power to the ground with two wheels.
And competition level, it's going to be super because the current national points leader, which is Wayne Roush, is the only regular Redman TNT Series circuit driver to be on the West Coast, and he's going to face some stiff competition.
Wayne came out a few weeks earlier, Richard, in order to get a handle on this track surface. It'll be the last shot for him. He thinks he's got it figured out.
So we'll be back in San Jose, California in just a moment to get all the competition underway. Welcome back to Spartan Stadium in San Jose, California. I'm Richard Leake. I'm going to be topside. Army Armstrong is going to be trackside. And this is the modified four-wheel drive competition, Army.
First truck coming out, the Red Rabbit, one of the strong pullers out of California. Richard chooses the right side of the track. The first position, very important today. It may pay dividends as the sun comes out later on in the program.
That is Dan Coelho out of Turlock, California, and Red Rabbit. Dan on the circuit for 10 years. He knows what he's doing, and it looks like he's got a good pull going, Army.
Awfully strong shot flag comes down. We'll have the distance in a second.
281 feet, 6 inches, a good distance to start this competition here in San Jose.
Dan started to the extreme right side of the track.
And you see typical California people enjoying a typical California sunny afternoon as they're enjoying now. Dan Moore out of Dos Palos, California. Dan drives Natural High.
Natural High, early model sheet metal of a GMC truck, late model horsepower, Chevrolet all the way, good run. He also trying to work the right side of the track.
Well, Dan has been in the sport 5 years. He's a carpenter by trade, and I'm sure he's used a little bit of that knowledge to go into the mechanics of this as he pulls 265 and 7 inches. Not good enough to take over first place, but not a bad pull.
Moore stays strong in that number 2 spot.
That brings to the line Bob Furman out of Napa, California. He drives a vehicle called Show No Mercy.
For all the Ford fans, this one's it. He's working his way over to the left side of the track. Third puller. Everybody's going about 6 inches left of the man in front of him. Engine breaking up a little bit, Richard.
Well, Bob is a steam fitter, which means that he's got the muscles to muscle down the track in these monster of machines. Bob Furman with a pull of 233 feet, 8 inches. Not a very good pull because it's pretty dusty on the track, and that is not good for these drivers. And Army earlier today spent some time on the track to see what the conditions would be and to see how this dust and heat would affect it. As you know, a puller likes to have a moist track. Let's find out from Army why the conditions here at Spartan Stadium aren't the best for the pullers.
Warm California sun, along with a strong northern breeze, may determine the wind this afternoon in San Jose, California. Right now, the moisture is not coming back up from the bottom of the track. The track crew's working feverishly to keep it packed well, but the moisture is just not there due to the sun and the wind.
All right, Army, that's going to be a situation we're going to have to keep our eye on, as the competitors will today. Bob Borwick comes to the line now. Bob is out of Cameron Park, California. He drives one called Hangtown Hustler.
Got to be one of the toughest names we've seen on a pulling truck. California looking strong. He comes down the middle of the track, Richard. Nobody's going in the tracks of the man in front of him.
Well, you can see the dust flying out from beneath the wheels of Hangtown Hustler. Not a great pull. 232 and 4 inches for Bob Borwick. Bringing to the line now Dave Rivero. Dave out of Tulare, California, with mare to spare. You see him backing up, getting ready to get hooked up to the sled, and that's an important part of the competition, isn't it?
Yeah, they actually spot the sled as they go back. As a matter of fact, the driver later in the field right here is explaining exactly where he wants the sled. This truck is taking a crapshoot down that left side of the track, Richard. He's already going all the way to the left, getting out of the grooves of the trucks in front of him.
All right, Dave Rivero, he is a dairy farmer, 26 years old, and he's been a puller for 8 years, so he's got the experience.
Good ground speed, looking strong, but the track conditions just not holding the horsepower. Chassis starts to unload on him right here, Richard.
Yeah, I see the bouncing. What causes that exactly?
No bite. Just cannot get the horsepower to the track.
Well, it's reflected in his pulling distance of 269 feet and 6 inches. The pull distance for Dave Rivero. That means Dan Coelho remains the favorite. and the leader at this point in time. We're going to go down trackside now to find out how these track conditions are affecting the drivers. You see Dave holding up his mascot, which is a tradition here at Spartan Stadium. Let's go down to Army.
Dave Ribeiro works the left side of the track. On the end, Dave, at about the 200-foot mark, it looked tough. You were bouncing awfully strong. What was the problem out there?
I ran the tires a little bit lower on pressure, and the sled caught up with me and really made them work.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, it looks like you pulled up at least in the top, the number 2 spot, maybe be able to stay in that top 3 the rest of the afternoon. The question we're having, the condition of the track, it looks like it's drying out. You think the track's going to be coming around or going away later on in the field?
Depends how deep the moisture is. It looks like they put a lot of water in it last night and this morning, so it's got a good chance of coming up.
We're going back upstairs.
And Mark Cirilli out of Hollister, California, is on the track now in Garfield.
Engine goes upstairs, Richard. A lot of wheel speed. It may come back to haunt him as the blue starts to roll.
What is the smoke coming out from the engine there?
He's a lot of freewheeling going on, Richard.
All right, and you also see the dust coming up from the track. Army talked about the conditions of the track, not the best, reflected in Mark's pull of only 220 feet plus inches. So that's not going to get him anywhere close to our current leader, Dan Coelho, as we return to Spartan Stadium in San Jose, California in just a moment for more modified 4x4 action. Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, San Jose, California, where already we have enjoyed some great pulls in this modified 4x4 competition. Dan Coelho is our leader, and you know a lot goes into the construction of these modified 4x4s, as Army Armstrong explained. Well, of course, another ideal situation would be a little bit wetter track. We do not have that, but we do have the final 3 competitors as they chase after Dan Coelho. This is Gene Casatordo out of Morgan Hill, California, driving hard 8. What's the smoke coming out of that left side?
Richard, on the left side of the engine, he's got a cylinder that's not firing at all. It's going away on him. Basically, what we're looking at is a 7-cylinder run. The Ford not able to get all 8 of them working for him.
Well, Gene Casatordo at a disadvantage right off at the bat. And you can see it's reflected in his pulling distance of 256 feet and 11 inches. And there you see, I guess that shows that the cylinder is not firing for him.
Completely gone away, Richard.
All right, and that brings us down to only 2 competitors now. We have yet to see a full pull this evening in the modified 4x4 action. David Rovella out of Hollister, California, hopes to change that. That is a sharp-looking machine.
Gotta be a California truck. Look at the beautiful flame paint job on early model Chevrolet, about a 55 Chevy body, late model engine, making a horsepower, a decent run down the middle of the track. I don't believe the track's going to stay for him, though, Richard.
The track may not stay there, but the fans are with him. They love the sharpness of this truck, and appropriately, it's named the Prosecutor. David going, what the heck? I gave it my best shot here at San Jose, California in these modified 4x4s, but not a great pull for David Ravella. That sets it up. Only one gentleman to go for the win, and that is Bill Arzy out of Hollister, and risky business that Tom Cruise, not the driver, Bill Arzy is.
70 Chevrolet looks good. The engine's up. They're making the horsepower. They're just not able to get the horsepower to stick to the track. Chassis starts to bounce a little bit. Not going to be his day.
Well, the dust's flying, and you said earlier in this program that the track conditions would be a major factor, and the guy first out of the gate tonight, Dan Coelho, would have the advantage, and he certainly did, because Dan Coelho is our winner. As you see the top 5, 5th place, David Rovella, then Gene Casatordo. Dan Moore took 3rd. 2nd place tonight went to David Ribeiro with a pull of 269.6. And your winner this afternoon, Dan Coelho, with a pull of 281 feet, 6 inches. Let's go down to Army Armstrong with the winner.
You and the Dodge boys making a whole lot of horsepower out here, Dan.
Well, we're trying. I'm one of the few left in the country that's running the Chrysler in the modified class. There's a lot of them running in the 2-wheel drive, but the modifieds aren't. There's not too many of them Chryslers, and I don't know why.
Well, I'll tell you, on the West Coast now, we're glad to have you with us on the Redman Tour, but on the West Coast Tour, you've won a lot of championships out here in the past. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, my Wild Hair truck was California State Champion in 1983, 85, and 87. So done that consistently in between, too. It was right in there close.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, it's an honor working with you. You fellas doing a fine job out here. Part of the Redman Tour. We're glad to be on the West Coast. The Dodge boys dominating so far as we go back upstairs to Richard.
So that is your winner, Dan Coelho, in the modified 4x4 division here at Spartan Stadium, San Jose, California. Now we move into the super modified 2-wheel drive truck And we've got 10 great competitors in this division. Basically, what is the difference in the super modifieds and the modified 4x4s, Army?
The supercharged engines appear in these two-wheel drive vehicles. Each of these participants will be generating around 1,500 horsepower this afternoon, Richard.
And Dwayne Marston, part of a brother act out here, will be the first to come off with the sled. He is driving Black Attack. Dwayne out of Hilmer, California. He's been pulling for about 12 years now.
Has some good ground speed. Okay, his front end starts to come up and the cylinder goes away. Yes, he lost the cylinder on that shot.
And you see him coming to a stop. They're bouncing after a pull of 240 feet 5 inches. Why the bounce?
The vehicles have a rigid front suspension. The bounce actually comes from the tire itself.
All right, so Dwayne Marston not with a great pull to get things started. He's in Black Attack, and Army Armstrong is trackside with him now.
Dwayne Marston doing a super job this afternoon. Working the left side of the track, we look at the engine. There's all types of oil coming off of it. When you left the starting line, you had some blue smoke on the left side. What happened as we came down the track?
Well, it was running good at first, and then about 150 feet it started to lay down, and at 200 feet it was sounding pretty bad, but you got to go for it. Try and do the best you can.
Well, I tell you, even after you stop, we notice you're moving around violently inside the truck trying to do something. Then the right side of the engine seemed to go away on you. You think you did some permanent damage here?
Well, I'm sure it's pretty serious. What happened, the truck was stuck in gear, and I was trying to get it out of gear, and it didn't want to come out of gear, so I was getting pretty violent with it.
Well, our second competitor tonight is a young lady that earlier this season on the West Coast at a Redman TNT event, she came out the winner. That's Barbara Castle and Pete's Dragon.
Barbara, one of the strong pullers. These fellas out here know they've got to watch her. She's pretty sharp in the sport, but I tell you what, Richard, she starts to bounce a little bit. It looks like she may have missed the weight this afternoon.
She is coming way up, bouncing, taking a wild ride down the track at Spartan Stadium. What's the cause of that?
She missed the weight, basically. Of the 6,200 pounds, too much of it's to the rear of the rear axle.
Well, the crowd loves Barbara Castle anyways for the wild ride. We're going to be back with more modified truck competition in San Jose, California in just a moment. For track conditions for these guys, we're continuing with our super modified two-wheel drive competition. This is Wayne Roush in the Little Red Truck. Wayne is the only full-time Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series driver to come to the West Coast.
Wayne backs to the sled. Richard, a little bit of blue smoke coming out of the engine, an indication it might be going away. You've got to remember, Roush uses 2 trucks on the tour. This one, he may be using just to learn with this afternoon as he drew early in the field.
Well, you see the dust flying up off the track. Of course, the drivers wish it was a little bit more moist down there because it would have helped with a pull. You see that Wayne doesn't get exactly the distance he would like to have. 256 feet 6 inches, so we've had 3 pullers, and Wayne is third of the 3.
Kept the front end down. He's going to learn something from that run, I believe.
Well, he waves to the crowd, a nice crowd here at Spartan Stadium. Wayne will be back with another vehicle in a few minutes. Coming to the line next to be John Shipman. What were they doing there?
They were hooking up the kill switch. In case of a breakaway or chain breakage, that kill switch has stopped the vehicle instantly.
Well, this is called temporary insanity. It's a sharp-looking vehicle, a funny car-type vehicle, and he gets up in the air.
Definitely light on the nose and skies it right at mid-track. There seems to be a soft spot developing out there.
Look at the ending, a violent stop for John Shipman after a pull of only 231 feet 10 inches. What was the cause for that as you see the sled come up on him?
The engine just seemed to lock up. It went away on him. The sled came back, but immediately shut it down.
All right, John Shipman having a wild end to a wild ride. The crowd appreciates it anyways as you see the funny car going off the track. And that brings up the other half of our brother act tonight, or this afternoon, Dennis Marston.
Marston, his brother, currently dominating on this West Coast. A good run. He's learned a little bit, too. Comes to the right side. Weight looks real good. Starts to sky on him. He hit a soft spot, Richard. He hooked it real hard to that left side of the track.
All these tracks are bouncing hard. Dennis Marston, 234 feet, 10 inches.
Dennis, it looks like you're having the same problem this afternoon in San Jose that everybody else is. About half track, they want the sky on you and it hook left or the right. What's going on out there?
The middle of that track is real wet and sticky, and it's just drawing the trucks right around. You can get all the way on the edge. I was always on the edge as far as I could. Didn't make any difference. When it got to that point, it just pulled me right in the middle. It's a bad deal. I was a little off in the weight. I was a little light in the nose, too, and I think the wet part in the track had a little to do with that, too. It kind of just sucked us down and just made the front rise on the truck.
Yeah, because once you skied, it looked like it went away on you.
Well, that brings to the line your current national points leader, Wayne Roush, for his second try tonight. This one in the yellow Model T.
Chrysler Power 4-body Engler chassis, state-of-the-art vehicle. This could be the future of this sport. Roush a lot of weight on the nose, down the horsepower in about 75 feet, and goes through the soft spot, Richard. Look at this run.
Wayne Roush is on a roll as he goes way past anybody else. Close to the wall. He's got him a full pull. Wayne Roush is your new leader in that yellow Model T. He's got to be happy with that. Let's go trackside with Army Armstrong and your new leader, Wayne Roush.
Wayne, it looks like you laid down a super shot.
Thank you, Army. I'm concentrating on getting a good launch out of the hole and then keeping it straight. And fortunately, the yellow truck went straight. I don't think it can make a whole lot better pull. What do you think?
Looks awfully good to me. Now, the California boys are going after Roush.
Well, not a California guy. This one's from Glendale, Arizona. Bill Bonkoski. He's one half of a father-daughter team. His daughter, Kathy, will be pulling a little bit later on. Bill Bonkoski takes off in good and plenty.
Engine sounds good, goes upstairs, sounding strong. However, the rear wheel's not running in sync with the engine. He's got some kind of transmission problem. As the front end starts to sky, he does not have the ground speed. Not going to be the run he was looking for, Richard.
And Bill Bonkoski shuts her down after a pull of 245 feet, 10 inches. You see the frustration from Bill as he slaps the inside of the car. He's not happy with his performance. I guess now he's going to have to hope for better things from his daughter a little bit later on. Bill Bonkoski's going to head back to the pit area, and that brings on Barbara Castle. You saw Barbara earlier in this competition in Pete's Dragon. This is her other machine, Equalizer, which actually belongs to her husband.
Normally, this vehicle is driven by her husband. He's involved in farming, not able to be here this weekend, so she's doing double duty. The big problem she's worried about is staying away from the soft spot we've been hearing about, located right around the 200-foot mark. She's trying to do everything she can to go straight with the Equalizer through the soft spot to get the ground speed for a good run.
We'll watch the front end of Barbara Castle's Equalizer, see if it leaves the ground like the others have, and it does.
No, she's cocked the wheels all the way to the right, Richard. It's hooking on her real bad.
And she is going to have to shut it down as it started veering dramatically to the right. A good pull, though, for Barbara Castle. 280 feet and 4 inches, which is going to put her high in the competition. Barbara Castle with a nice run and her second pull tonight. This one in the Equalizer. Earlier, she was in Pete's Dragon. Right now, we're going to go trackside as she takes off her neck collar. You see they wear that for protection. The crowd cheers as they love Barbara Castle. We'll find out from Army Armstrong now how she liked her pull.
Barb, how's it still feeling out there for you? Looking awfully strong this afternoon.
Well, I was running strong, but I had to hit the brake again, and that just pretty well takes you down. Doesn't do anything for you.
Well, I tell you, it looks like you're going to be up in the top 5 finish. Congratulations to you on a super weekend in San Jose, California on the Redman Tour.
Well, thanks a lot. Glad you're here.
Well, the entire family enjoying the action here at San Jose. And speaking of family, here's the other half of the Bonkoski family. This is daughter Kathy. Her father ran earlier, and Kathy, newly married and in a great-looking machine called God's Thunder.
You know, wherever this young lady goes, she is a crowd favorite. They really get behind this young lady. Good ground speed, but not going to be the run she's looking for again this afternoon. The track is having a tendency to go away, Richard.
And Kathy Bonkoski, a pull of 241 feet, 8 inches in God's Thunder. Not a great pull. It's not even going to put her in the top 3. But the crowd enjoys her efforts, and as you said, they like Kathy Bonkoski. Both she and her father not having great luck. We'll go down trackside with Army Armstrong.
Are you hanging more weight on the front or in the back of the vehicle? What was it? Because everybody else has been having a lot of problems, and you just go straight.
Part of the problem is we lengthened ours a lot and added on a lot of weight, so I'm not popping wheelies like everyone else was.
Well, here's the guy that hopes he does not pop a wheelie either. It's a final competitor tonight, chasing Wayne Roush. Bob Forbes is driving the one and only.
The Turlock, California native is a class operation on the West Coast. Up real high on the RPM, Richard. The engine might have some fuel problems.
He looks like he's got a good run going, but whoa!
Lifted a supercharger immediately.
He is out of it after a distance of 244 feet, plus a few inches, not near enough. Wayne Roush is going to be our winner. And what exactly happens here?
The supercharger and intake valve hung, or the engine leaned out is what happens here.
All right, Bob Borba is out of it. He is sitting in his vehicle. You see the safety people around him. Let's go down to Army Armstrong.
Right now, Bob Borba, who lifted the supercharger, his crew chief comes out. Now, if you look at the engine, you notice a black strap. Looks kind of like a seat belt. TNT Motorsports safety crew makes you run those. They're mandatory. What they do, they retain the blower. That's exactly what happened. Bob lifted the supercharger. You can see the back of it up, but the safety strap kept it on the vehicle, kept Bob in good shape. We're going to go over to Bob right now and check with him. Bob, a super run. We're sorry for the bad luck, but we talked to you a little bit earlier about reading the track. You had some good ground speed. Did you have it figured out until the engine let go?
I was real happy with the pass, Army. We were just a little bit on the lean side, and Poop went to blower, so we'll take it.
And we'll be back with your final results in just a moment from San Jose. Back in San Jose, California, where it turned out to be the Wayne Roush and Barbara Castle story. Bill Bonkoski took 5th. Wayne Roush's first vehicle ran 4th. Barbara Castle's first vehicle was 3rd. And Barbara Castle came back to take 2nd in her second vehicle. Your winner this afternoon was Wayne Roush in that yellow Model T, and we'll look at it one more time.
Roush seemed to really have it figured out today. The Engler chassis and a Chrysler horsepower working a perfect combination. The front end stayed on the ground. The soft spot was no problem for it. He powered right through it, Richard.
So Wayne Roush, your winner, and along with Army Armstrong, I'm Richard Leake saying we'll see you again on the tracks of the Redman TNT circuit.